And at this time, I will ask Commissioner McKeithen to lead us in our prayer and pledge of allegiance to the United States and Texas flags.
Lord, bless our first responders and troops through these odd times that we're going through. Lord, let everything be in your name that we do and do well. Amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Agenda item number 3 is recognition of guests and special presentations. So do we have any guests outside of somebody that's normally not here? Okay. All right, I guess not, but I will introduce our new HR lady at this time, and that's Ms. Sherry Hernandez right there. So she is the new HR director for the ESD, and you guys just give her about another week to get her feet on the ground real good, but I'm pretty sure she can handle whatever you bring to her. So anyway, all right. Yeah. Sherry, would you like to say anything? Yeah.
No, just glad to be here.
Okay. All right. Glad to have you. All right. Item number 4, public comments. Do we have any public comments?
I have received no public comments.
You haven't received any?
I've received none.
Okay. All right. We'll move on to item number 5, which is receive, discuss, and take any necessary action relating to the following reports. Approval of the minutes of the July 26, 2021 meeting.
Okay, that was one of our regular meetings, and I have reviewed those minutes and would have no comments or corrections.
Motion for approval.
Second.
Okay. Have a motion by Commissioner Biggers and a second by Commissioner McKeithen that the minutes be approved as written. Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor say by signifying saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right. 5.2. Oh,
No,
special call meeting of August the 10th.
okay, that was one of our special call meetings where we actually sat down and talked about the taxation, the worksheet. There was not a workshop in the sense as much as it was informative. There was no action taken. Again, I've reviewed those meeting minutes and have no corrections or comments.
Motion to approve.
Have a motion to approve by Commissioner McKeithen,
I'll second.
second by Commissioner Domney. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. All right. The next one will be the special call meeting of August the 14th, 2021.
Again, that was another special call meeting. It was a workshop, budget workshop on a Saturday. Had a lot of attendees, but again, no corrections or additions.
Motion.
Have a motion by Commissioner Biggers to approve the August 14th special call meeting. I have a second.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Domney. Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. 5.2, financial reports.
All right, so the financial report is attached. Again, upon review, and there is no corrections or comments.
Okay.
And I'll make the motion that we accept as presented.
Okay.
I'll second.
Have a motion by Commissioner Domney and a second by Commissioner McKeithen to approve the financials as written. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Larry, whatever you're popping up covers up everything. All right, July 2021 tax distribution report.
Again, this is just an informative report that we receive on a monthly basis, unless anybody will have any questions, and there's no action to be taken.
No action to be taken. All right. All right. Item 6, discuss, consider, and take any necessary action related to payment of accounts, bills, invoices, payroll requests for reimbursement, requests for other payments, transfer of funds, and amendments. That's item 6.1.
I've got one question. Within the Southern Tire Mart, for the expenditure of $7,390.97, we have a single transaction that is in the value of $3,970, which is what's not board pre-approved. And Mike, I believe you have some explanation for us.
Yes, sir. Last week, that Winona tanker had a blowout, and upon further inspection, after being on hold for Southern Tire Mart for 2 hours that evening, they couldn't get a road tech out there to replace that tire. So the guys ended up limping it back to the station where they were close to, and I went there the following day, and upon further inspection, all the tires were out of NFPA date code, and half of them were actually bad and about to go just like that one was, so we sent it down there to get a new set of tires put on.
Okay, the only thing I'd recommend is next time you have to have that type of expenditure, give us a heads up.
Okay.
It would be great.
With that said, though, one thing I do want to say is, and this was my bad. I had talked to him a while back about us getting together and nailing down a policy on expenditures, like defining an emergency expenditure. So, yes, next time give us a holler, but I'd like to put that in the official deal that we need to take care of that.
I don't have any further comments, and I'll make the motion that we approve those payments under 6.1.
Second.
Okay, have a motion by Commissioner Domney and a second by Commissioner Biggers that we pay the bills under item 6.1. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, 6.2, Card Center.
If you don't mind, I'd like to join 6.2 and 6.3 together.
Okay,
Both of them are, I'll say, regular customary charges through the credit card service center and the contract payments through all of our normal payments that we have to make on a monthly basis. And I'd make the motion that we pay them as presented.
Second.
okay, have a motion by Commissioner Domney and a second by Commissioner McKeithen that we approve the charges on item 6.2, which is Card Service Center and contract charges. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right. Let's see. Item number 7, discuss, consider, and take any necessary action on the purchase of bunker gear from NAFCO. Who's going to speak on that?
I'm going to have Captain Murillo come and speak on behalf.
All right.
The NAFCO request is based on the gear testing that we did this year. As far as testing all entry certified, we completed testing 165 complete sets of gear. We've got Troop is one of the big we're going to have to spend this on is they've got several members that gear is out of date. So, you know, NFPA entry certified, we've got to get them in date gear. A lot of the other is, you know, damaged gear that's got to be replaced, helmets, boots, gloves, you know, all the ensemble there. This is what we talked about rolling into the next budget year during the budget meeting. I'm just trying to get permission to go ahead and proceed, so when October 1 hits, I can go ahead and submit that order. There's probably going to be a price increase in November. Just trying to get ahead of that to go ahead and have that savings there so we don't have to get blindsided by something else.
So this will lock that price in?
If I order it October 1st, it will. The reason we couldn't order it in this budget year is because we would not have the asset in hand by September 30th.
Okay.
Is this purely replacing?
This is
There's no
replacing
reserves.
like what we need yesterday.
Gotcha, I understand.
Anybody have any other questions?
I'm gonna ask you about criticality of getting these in. What's the delivery time on these, and how soon do you really need them?
How soon do we need it? Well, like I said, we needed it yesterday.
Okay, so let's look at what we're talking about then. I mean, there's nothing wrong with ordering something now and paying for it in the next fiscal year,
Uh,
as long as we appropriate funds for it this year, in this fiscal year, and we can pay for it. It's just how we recognize it.
okay.
So, I mean, Bill, is there any issue with making the purchase now?
No, sir, that should be okay. But when are we gonna receive it, Ray?
Usually it's anywhere from 90 to 120 days. Right now, it's looking like 160 days out on just the paint and coat.
So, yeah,
It's just a matter of how we recognize it in our books, right?
yes, sir,
So
yes,
it
sir,
shouldn't influence when we order it.
yes, sir.
So if we need it, it's something that we have expired gear, I'll propose that we go ahead and proceed with the purchase of the
Right.
material.
And hopefully from now on moving forward, doing the testing, some departments, the volunteers, they tested their own before, and then that kind of just stopped. And this is the first year we've really went and looked at the whole picture. So hopefully it's going to take probably a couple of years to get caught up, but hopefully we can get in front of this and this won't happen again like this.
Okay. So if you get the approval tonight, you'll go ahead and order it tomorrow?
It's going to take a couple weeks because we're going to have to do some sizing for folks.
Okay.
Yes, I can start the
Was
process.
that a motion?
It will be.
Okay.
Make the motion that we approve the purchase of gear in the amount of $82,360.51.
Second.
Have a motion by Commissioner Domney and a second by Commissioner McKeithen that we purchase gear for the amount of $82,362.51 to replace gear that's outdated and torn up. Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay. All right. Number 8, discuss, consider, and taking necessary action on TFS PPE grant for Dixie Volunteer Fire Department. Chief York, you want to tell us about that?
You guys going through Casco, we got a forestry grant. But to exceed and get the full benefit of this grant, I need to spend some more money. I think we're gonna fall back up on Murillo and pull some of the weight off of him and put under this grant. So we're to save us money. You wanna elaborate on some of that?
Yeah, sorry, that's why I kind of stepped back, Margaret. I forgot to mention that. On the next budget, I have Dixie down for 13 sets of gear. The 11,000 will help us get roughly 4 sets of gear, so we'll have a savings in the budget out of next year due to the grant.
His current quotes are for about 6,000. In order to get the full cost of the grant, he has to spend 16,500. It's a $15,000 grant with a 90% match, so we have to do 10%.
So how much would that be?
They have to spend 16,500. So he's got about $6,000 already allocated through the wildland gear. So roughly 10 or 11 for the to get the full match.
So we need to allocate 10,000, or we need to allocate 6,000, or what's our amount of the match?
So
So I don't think we have to do anything in here.
yeah.
I think what he's got to demonstrate is that he spent so much money for gear to get the reimbursement. What we'll have to do is some of the gear that has just been approved is actually being supplemented by the grant. So Captain Murillo's expenditures won't be the full value that we just approved. it would potentially be a lesser value once we know exactly how many is going to Chief York and the value of those particular ones.
Okay, so we're gonna reduce our expenditure by the 10% match, whatever that number comes out to be.
Plus.
Okay.
We gotta
So-
pay the 10%.
So we're gonna, Chief York is gonna
Oh,
get
I got
10.
you.
Yeah.
I understand now. Sorry. I went forward.
So as far as I'm concerned, there's what you've given us is information, but there's no action other than the approval of the expenditures that are submitted here, which is nominally $6,700. And I can add it up real quick to see exactly what we want to, so we'll go ahead and approve this expenditure.
One of them's 2477.
Yep. So the total value of the two submitted is $6,857 even. And I'll make the motion that we approve the purchase of the PPE as submitted in the two quotes for $6,857.
Second.
Have a motion by Commissioner Domney and a second by Commissioner Biggers to spend that amount of money again. What was it?
$6,857.
$857 to supplement the grant for Dixie. Any other discussion?
I have a question. Says tax isn't on there, or I guess we're not, but freight. Is that something that's not included in the quote? I mean, am I splitting hairs, or do we need to know what the freight's gonna be for getting that stuff?
Freight's kind of day by day. A lot of times if we order in bulk like that, they're able to waive that fee.
Okay.
But it's not all the time like that.
I was just making sure we didn't need to include it in this.
Right.
We'll also have it covered in the prior one that we just approved, because the total expenditure is gonna be a little bit less, so any freight that may be incurred shouldn't push that over the approved value. Sure.
All right, is there any other discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. All right. Number 9, discuss, consider, and take any necessary action on purchase of recliners, Red Springs recliners. Who's speaking on that?
Captain Trotty.
Okay.
Well, it's actually supposed to be Red Springs and Dixie both, so,
Okay.
I don't think Red Springs needs 8 recliners, but they might like it. All right, so you've got 3 quotes there for recliners. One's Southside Furniture, one's Office Barn, and one's American Firehouse Furniture. You'll see there's a pretty substantial difference between the 3 quotes. So Office Barn is where we've been buying the recliners, since we've been buying them. The only issue that we have out of those is they're a lower price, but they are also a lower quality. So we're only getting about 2 years out of them before we're having to replace them again due to break-in or ripping and tearing, stuff like that. Southside Furniture, pretty much the same thing. It's still lower-end recliner. As far as how it's going to hold up, I don't know because it's not a brand I'm familiar with. The American Firehouse Furniture quote, that one's $6,100. That's the one that I actually recommend. It's more expensive, but it's a more durable recliner. It's designed for a fire station use. And if you see on there, it says leather that can be disinfected per NFPA standards. So with all the COVID stuff going around especially, I've deconned 2 stations since we've started this. So basically it just gives us something that we can wipe down and clean. Like I say, the longevity of it also is what I'm looking at. So,
Is there any kind of warranty on this furniture?
both of them, they all have warranties. I can't tell you ever off the top of my head what they are though.
Have we ever bought anything from American Firehouse Furniture?
No, we have not. I believe this is where Noonday's recliners came from that they have in their station, and a couple other fire departments I know of have bought from them.
So they're over twice the cost. Do we feel like we're going to get 4 years out of them instead of 2?
I would hope so, but I can tell you, JD, what was the last station we put recliners in? I think it was Arp and Flint. And
It was Arp and Flint when they opened.
so, I mean, time will tell on those, but I can tell you the ones that we bought before, they're not lasting. And like I say, I know it's a higher price, but it's gonna be a higher quality product.
Yeah, metal frames on.
Metal
Kelsey?
frames.
Okay.
I'll be honest, the two benefits to me, I know you're gonna hate this, but first of all, buying from Office Barn would be a local purchase, and I like that, but also I'd be hard pressed to justify twice the cost for recliners.
Yeah, and I understand that, and that's one thing that I kind of struggle with myself with even bringing it to you. But like I say, I think that it would be a better purchase, money better spent, as opposed to buying something that we're expecting a 2-year life expectancy out of.
Sure. You know, if we had a reference point from somebody else that already had them, and had them for 4 years, 5 years.
I don't know anybody that's had them that long.
Okay. Or if I knew what the warranty was, if I had a 30-day warranty versus a 2-year warranty, then it might make my different decision. But based on the information that's presented, I have to agree with Commissioner Keith, and I can't justify paying double the price for them. We'll buy another set in 2 years versus.
That's fine too.
And if you can find somewhere that used them or something,
I just know that what's in the stations right now, I was in Red Springs today, and one of the recliners, it sits crooked, the other one, the handle's broken off of, and they need something.
I'd like to see us, first of all, ask John or Office Barn if those are still covered under, if there's a
Those that are in those stations, we didn't get from Office Barn.
Oh, okay. Or wherever they came from, if there's a warranty that
I
covers.
think those may have either come from the old station or come from somebody's house.
I got you. Well, I think it'll be an easy replacement in 2 years if they are broken, but I would like to know the warranty information on them too, because some of them you can even buy a little bit better warranty with it, and they cover it forever. And that's how some of my stuff came. But with that, I think I will make a motion for the Office Barn purchase at $2,879.93.
I'll second.
Okay, have a motion by Commissioner McKeithen to buy the recliners from Office Barn for a total of $2,879.93. Seconded by Commissioner Domney. Is there any other discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Yeah. All right. Number 10, discuss, consider taking necessary action on purchase of uniforms from FR Girls. I guess, Kelsey, that's gonna be you again?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay, so these uniforms, we know we made the big purchase when we hired everybody in. These uniforms are for part-time employees that have come in since then. So they don't have anything and they need something.
How many people are we fitting?
I think this was 5 people.
Stand by.
Yeah, that's fine. No other discussion. I'll make a motion that we approve the purchase of $2,072 from FR Girls.
Okay, have a motion by Commissioner Domney to make the purchase from FR Girls for $2,072. Have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Biggers. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. All right. Number 11, discuss, consider, and take any necessary action on the ESD2 voting district map.
I'm going to let Larry take this one since he actually spoke to the elections department.
Guys, the elections department just asked us to show this to y'all and to have y'all verify that this is the correct map as they go back through and they just do all the verification. So all they need from us is just a, yes, this reflects the ESD2 voting districts.
Anybody have any questions? Like it's just a routine.
I mean, is there anything that would differentiate it between where the lines were before and where they are now? I mean,
There should be no change.
It's 100,000 feet level.
My understanding is that they're doing this for all the agencies. Ours are pretty new. Some of the agencies are very, very old. They're the ones that did our initial plotting of all of this pretty recently. So I think they just want verification from us that nothing's changed. That's all still the same. And this is the exact same that it looked like when they initially did it.
I'd say we'd give them a conditional acceptance on that basis that there is no change. There's been no change identified to us, so we'd say
I'll coordinate that with them.
Okay. So I guess we'll need a motion.
I'll make a motion we approve the district map as presented.
Second.
Have a motion by Commissioner McKeithen, second by Commissioner Biggers, that we approve the voting district map as presented. And any other discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. All right. 12, discuss and consider the proposed tax rate for 2021 tax year. Bill?
Good evening, Commissioners. This is not an action item, but for transparency purposes, I would like to once again inform the public of the proposed tax rate that the Commissioners voted on in the August the 14th meeting, special meeting that we held. The Smith County Fire District and Board of Commissioners are proposing the no new revenue rate of 0.06883 cents per $100 worth of evaluation for the 2021 tax year. The district's current rate for 2020 is 7 cents per evaluation. I want to inform the public that on September the 13th, the board will be voting to adopt the tax rate as well as the budget in a special meeting.
So that's all we needed was the information on
Yes, sir.
that.
Yes, sir,
Okay,
just
no
information.
action to be, no action to be taken on item number 12 then. Item 13, discuss and consider budget process for fiscal year 2021-2022. Bill, I guess.
Commissioners, I have provided y'all with a packet with the budget information in it. And what I would like to do is to go over that information. It's in this packet right here that I provided to y'all. This particular budget encompasses all of the changes that were made as a result of the meeting that was held on August the 19th. I'm just going to kind of briefly go over everything. Once again, you've got the first section is your summary section. This is the more condensed version of the budget. Our revenues stayed the same amount at $16.4 million. We have total funds available for possible reserves of $8.4 million. Total expenditures budgeted or proposed to be budgeted of a little over $16 million. Total proposed reserves at this time at $6.6 million. On an overall basis for the revenue will exceed the expenditures by $382,000 for just the fiscal year activity that we're trying to budget for. On an overall basis for the reserve as well as the fiscal year that we're budgeting for, our revenues will exceed our expenditures by approximately $2.1 million. So as a result of all the changes that we made in the budget from Saturday, I think we went from, well, it started out at approximately like $257,000 that were left over. Then when we made all the cuts and all the changes, it threw us into the positive about $1.3 million, and then I built in the $2 million that we're wanting to spend on apparatus. So that leaves us back now to the $382,000 excess of revenues over expenditures. And at this point in time, I need to see if I can get guidance from y'all of how y'all want to allocate that remaining money. Do we want to just move that to reserves, or?
We've spoke throughout this whole process about looking at future expenditures. We know what we needed this year, we know what we've been able to afford, but we also want to look at our 10-year plan as to replacing all of our apparatus and making sure we have good gear all the time. And so that's one thing that we have not started budgeting yet, was that forward-looking funds to replace those on a regular basis. I know this isn't enough really to substantiate us on a go-forward basis, but it is a point which I would recommend we use this to start setting aside for those future large expenditures and allocate specific to that. So on an annual basis, we want to try to set back enough funds so that when we come across these large expenditures, it's not big hits to that annual budget. It is really something that we can just manage over the 10-year period. So, if y'all have any objection to that or any other comments? I'm sorry? You could use it in emergency. Absolutely. Yeah, it's not restricted.
Commissioner Dominic, there was one other thing that I failed to point out to y'all. When we were presenting the IT budget on the 19th, there was an item in the detail for the point-to-point Phase 5 project that on the information sheet, and in the back of your packet, y'all will see this information relating to the IT budget. I put the updated page in there, as well as behind that is the page that was presented to y'all on Saturday. What Larry and I discovered was that in that presentation packet, project number 4 was budgeted at $113,965. That project really should have been $137,055. But what I can say is that the $137,055 was already built into the budget that I presented to y'all on the 19th. So the larger amount was in the budget. It was just the information that was provided to y'all had a different cost amount on the project. Does that make sense, or?
Yeah, because our budget is a mixture of recurring cost, capital expenditures, labor, training, and so essentially what you're saying is that the correct values were in the total budget.
Yes, sir.
The breakout sheet was the one that was
Yes, sir.
incorrectly presented.
Correct.
And it's a difference of about $20,000.
But it was the budget that we worked on.
Right. The values of the total expenditures forecast by the year are unchanged.
Yes, sir, correct. And that gives us our $382,000 that I just mentioned, so that is built into that amount. We just, I apologize for that, we just caught that the other day.
I don't know of anything else we need to do. Okay, I guess that's all we need, Bill.
Okay,
Thank you.
that's all I have. Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate it.
Item 14, discuss, consider taking necessary action on fire chiefs presenting, discussing issues with the board for future action. Art? Chief Arnold?
When I looked at my report, I didn't have any major issues. The 2 incidents that we had, we found and we've cleared those up. One we found today, it was thrown back on an error they made when they were doing their report. So we've cleared those up. Nothing exciting going on. It's been nice and quiet Thank God. Hey. Maybe some of y'all get to come play tonight then.
Yeah, get the firing squad out.
Any questions?
Nope. Thank you, Chief Arnold. All right. Bullard.
That's the first time I've seen the report. I don't know if I'm receiving the emails that say that we have open reports and things like that. Mac was saying he gets those. As far as the bunker gear is concerned, we're in the similar situation as Dixie. I've been talking to Ray Murillo. We're looking at an expenditure of about $4,500 to satisfy a Texas Forestry Service grant and get all of my structural firefighting people in new gear. We would then watershed the good gear kind of through the department and back to Ray. He's aware of it, and that was the purpose of my question at the workshop the other night. Do I need to work with Ray or not? But that is coming in November is whenever the money starts to come due. So we've got some time, and he's aware. So we'll be kicking in our portion of that. As far as the reports, I've been trying to run the report and keep current. I thought I only had 4 open, but apparently there's more than that. It kind of just a demonstration of the fact that I'm not able to keep up with my primary job and this job as chief, so I have sent a letter of resignation to my board. I'll be stepping down as soon as they find a replacement for me. My intentions are to stay on the department so there's a smooth transition and that there's no hiccups or bumps in the road for them, but I'm just not able to keep up with both roles at this time. It's starting to come apart at home. So the fact that I'm losing out on money for not picking up a shift to make a meeting it's just too much. So other than that, things seem to be going smooth. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
We appreciate your service, Justin.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Chapel Hill.
I see I only got the one report, which I know where that is. One of the pay crew, I got to get with them, get that one report done. So my reports, I got guys that stay on pretty well, so I'm staying up on them real well. One thing we've been doing mostly is a lot of training. We had 3 guys went to AM this year, come back with certification on pump maintenance. That was a good course. Also, we just finished the GSAR Class 1. I had 3 guys in that, and that was a good class that we took on that one. In fact, we're getting ready to set up and go for the GRS number 2 as well. So we're getting trained good at that. Also, we helped out back to school at Chapel Hill High School. They wanted us coming in and kind of help out with the kids and show stuff as well there at the school and get them started back to school. And then also we're having the Fire Academy starting up. I do have one of my guys that's in the Fire Academy this year in TJC. He started this week, as well as I got 3 of them that are stationed at my station in a different cat as well as in the academy as well. So other than that, we're doing pretty good out there.
Thank you, Chief Peters. Dixie, Chief York.
All the reports are taken care of. Appreciated JD and Murillo. A lot of them are strung out there from the ice storm. Anyway, they all got taken care of today between Britton and those guys. I made contact with Johnny and some other people and got that taken care of. Everything's going good at Dixie. Did have a bad wreck yesterday, a fatality. Murillo did a heck of a job out there as command. Noonday and Dixie guys did a good job. Like I said, it was just a bad wreck, bad deal. Other than that, just been busy. Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, Matt. Flint Gresham. Lieutenant Rath.
All right, so we didn't see this until just recently either. The one missing report, from what I can tell, was from last Friday. The crew that was there was a replacement crew for the most part. It was a bunch of people from other departments or other stations. And I think they just left it sitting there. They forgot about it, so I'm going to get with them and have them get that report cleared out. The 2 one-person responses, as usual, are me out there doing things. Sent 4 people to Teeks for the municipal school. Got some great training down there. We are curious what the status is on Flint Engine 1. Do you have any update on that?
I will get a hold of them this week. I know when I talked to them last week, they were still 3-4 weeks out on the engine.
Okay.
So hopefully sometime towards the middle of next month, we should see it.
Okay. Want to give a thanks to Noonday for letting us borrow their Engine 2 for the last few weeks, and hopefully they'll let us continue borrowing it until we get Flint Engine 1 back. And I'm trying to think if there was anything else that I was supposed to talk about. I think that's about it.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Jackson Heights. Chief Atkins.
All right, so as the other night, we discussed a lot of stuff prior to the March area. We're working on cleaning up a lot of those. That's where a lot of those missings are. I've got with a couple of battalion chiefs on a couple, I don't know why it's doing it, what's wrong with the system, or if it's something with the phones or something, that there's actually a few that are actually duplicate. We had the report done for them, but there's actually 2 reports for the same call, so it's showing one's not started, one's complete. I've already got that addressed. They're working on that to get those cleared off. I have one that I'm still tracking down to figure out who exactly is responsible for that one. I think I've got it almost narrowed up. And then a couple that me and Larry discussed that are looking at taking care of. Jackson, for the most part, we've been doing all right. We did send 2 as well to Teeks. I had one we sent or helped out with grant for, I don't know if we actually did the grant, if it was just with the department. I think we did it through the Forestry Service or something for EMT. We actually have one who just finished his National Yard, whatever. Yeah, National Registry, thank you. We got that in. We've actually got another person we're looking at joining on the department who's also going to be a medic as well. We had one event gathering with a lot of the department, just kind of a bonding kind of deal. Had a cookout, everybody ate and hung out, had a good time. Thanks to Winona's Chief Allen actually came out. He provided the food. Actually, he brought us smokers out we cooked. So that was a good deal for Jackson, kind of be out there in the community, they could see us. Other than that, that's about all I got. Any questions?
Thank you, Chief.
Just holler next time there's a barbecue. That's all, you know.
Yeah. They didn't even let you know, Leroy. All right, Noonday. Nobody here from Noonday? So Chief Harper's working, I guess. Okay. Red Springs, Chief Salmons.
I do want to address something. I talked to JD earlier today. As we all know, the COVID situation's making a bunch of overtime shifts and fill-ins and stuff, and ran into an issue today where I was in a little bit of discussion over the missing reports, and I kept telling the lieutenant that they're his calls, and he's like, no, they're B shifts. And I was like, no, it's yours. We ran them, me and him ran them together, so we know. So then he got looking, and sure enough, it was his calls, and he was looking at the wrong dates. So, you know, we're filling in the stations with people, we're making it, but they're getting ran pretty ragged. So, you know, hats off to them guys for, you know, he put us, I think that whole shift did a 72. So they worked 3 days straight, so they were beat, and busy days. So, you know, we got to give them credit for that, for sure. The 9 first or one-person responses, I do like at the bottom of the report now where it's showing what them are. Makes it a lot easier for us to just go straight to them. I don't know if y'all can see that, how he's done that. Them are pretty much the blocker, and I think 1 medical. So that's taken care of on that. We can actually see that, don't have to search for them. So that works real good. Other than that, things are going good. We're making it.
congratulations to you too. I see where you're finished up with.
Oh,
your
yeah.
surgery.
So on a personal note, I got released today after 15 months, 10 surgeries, countless number of trips to Dallas, therapy, pain. So I got released today at 3.
Okay. Good for you, Mike.
Thanks all to y'all that had prayers and stuff for me.
Chief Mauger from Troop.
Well, my one-person responses are medical calls that we do at night. I've got one person that takes it one day a week, and that way everybody doesn't get taxed, and they switch off on a regular basis. This past weekend, we had that GSAR class that Dale was talking about. I had 7 of my people out there, and it was an all-day, the first day, plus 3-hour night deal, 3.5-hour night shift, and then all day Sunday. We're setting up to have another one in November, the latter part of November, and once we get all this training under our belts, I've talked to Chief Clanton about this, and we're going to try to set up a team and get with the county and see if we can get something going to try to get a little more response out of people and a better equipment or equipped personnel to do some of these searches that the sheriff's office gets called out on, and kind of work with them on that. It's something that we're working on. We haven't got there yet, but we're working on it. Chief Clanton's offered to help us out, so he's probably a little more hip on what all this is going to entail, so I'm going to rely on him to help us out as much as he can. I have one little question, and it's not a gripe, it's just a question. I know the new HR lady's just started. Our background checks are taking an awful long time to get. Is that a problem internal, or is that a problem with our background people? I don't know.
I
think you were handling
Yeah,
it to
I've been
start
handling
with.
those before Sherry came along. And most of them are coming back fairly timely, but some of them, for whatever reason, take a bit longer. Do you have some outstanding? Because
I've got one that's been in there for about almost 3 weeks now.
Okay.
And
get with me when we finish here, and we'll check on it.
I'll have to get his name from the station, because he's a new boy that's just. Caleb Montgomery, yeah.
Okay, let me
I'm
look
sorry.
in there.
Yeah, I talked to Ray about it, and he was gonna get, and
I actually think that
neither one of us
his has
forgot
come
it
back. I
was.
saw it in there. Did you see that today, in there?
I saw it in there today, but I think it was submitted last week.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, well, I've lost a couple on account of lost a couple of volunteers on account of it took so long to get the background check back that they just totally got disinterested in it.
Right.
And that's the only reason I'm bringing it up. It's becoming an issue, and I'd just like to see it taken care of.
I think that we're on it pretty steady. In fact, we visited today.
Well, I realize that
on it.
she's new and all that.
And,
I'm not.
But I think that you'll see a better performance out of that whole conversation as we move forward. I know we've had several for Jackson and Winona in different places. I think one for Chapel Hill, and we've been trying to be pretty timely on that. In fact, I told her today that one of the things I've been trying to do is respond by email back to those chiefs and let them know it's in process, let them know when it comes out of process. And so I'm not sure about yours, but we'll check on it.
Well, I hadn't gotten any response one way or the other, so that's the reason I was kind of bringing it up, just so make everybody aware of it. And like I say, I've lost a couple of people just on account of they didn't get their background checks back, and they got discouraged and either moved on or forgot about it.
Okay.
Can I chime in on this real quick? Over the past several months, while I was also doing those, when we send out the link for the background check, it goes to their email address. It goes to the email address for them to fill out the information for the background check. It also goes to their email address for them to schedule their own time to go do their drug screen. There have been several occasions where prospective members are not completing that. They have a certain time frame in which they have to do that, and if they don't, they have to call us so we can reschedule it. I don't know if that's what's happened in your case or not, But I just want to make sure that everybody understands that once you're submitting those in, tell your prospective members to be checking their email addresses, because that stuff will come to their emails.
JD, will the chiefs get a email on that when you send it back to them? That way they'll know?
Yes, we can do that. We can do that.
I think that'd be the good way to do it. That way the chief can follow up with them.
We have had several that timed out for no response, and I honestly have not followed up on those additionally. I mean, to me, there's a certain amount of self-responsibility if you want to do this or not. So, the way I feel about it.
Okay. Yep. Yeah. How many people total do you have in that GSAR class? 10. Okay. Thank you.
Was that a West Meyer?
All right. Chief Champion, White House. Like he's moving pretty good. He hasn't got his walker now.
Truck. Last week, just to give y'all a heads up, last week I went 2 days just carrying the cane around with me. I got sick of it and told somebody I throwed it in the back seat of the truck. If I fall, I'll crawl the truck and get it out and get back up. But I am doing good on, I hadn't been, I think, Larry, I was out for about 2 weeks from down there and then got back into it some. Hadn't been running any calls. Been 5 weeks today since my knee surgery, so I've been coming back pretty strong. I'll look for Thursday on me. They do an evaluation at rehab. I'll look for them to kick me out of there Thursday. Next week I go see the doctor and see what he's got to say. I know what he said. My second week into it, he let me know real quick I was doing so good just the second week into it that he didn't want to see me for 5 weeks. So next week will be the 5 weeks on that. As far as everything else has been doing good. I would like to make the board aware that I got approached today by the man that I work part-time for, and he lives next door and behind the fire station. It's Jeff Carnes that owns Carnes Cabinets and the processing shop down there. He asked me today, we have an issue at our station back from Snow-Me-Garden that on the south end of our front entrance, we have got, it's a group of 4 trees or 5 trees that Snow-Me-Garden got them. We have been, we run them for a while to see if they would survive or not. Larry got out there digging around on them a couple weeks ago and dug up some roots, and the roots are brittle as the limbs. So the trees has got to come down. We were going to work on a work day sometime on a Saturday or something, and all of us get out there and do them. But Jeff approached me today. He has got a guy that's coming into his place that is going to cut up a tree that he's got for the firewood. He asked me about these 4 trees. And this guy that's coming in to do it for the firewood, he's also got a stump grinding machine that he's going to take care of the stumps after he gets them down. So I told him, do it. Let's get it done, because it's not costing us a dime. So in the next 2 to 3 weeks, that's going to be done. So if you happen to pop by there and you see it being done or something, that's what's going on with that. Other than that, everything's going great. Has anybody got any questions?
Sounds good. Thank you, Gene.
Thank you.
Winona, Chief Allen.
As far as Winona goes, we're doing rather well. We got a lot of good training opportunities coming and going, and I believe we had, I'm trying to see, 13 one-person responses. Quite a few of those are med calls. That 7 to 8 o'clock window in the morning by all means hurts us as well. I believe that's where some of our problems are too, is volunteers are getting ready to go to work. But other than that, everything's good up there with us, unless y'all have any questions.
I will ask Chief Smith that there's a couple of them that had discussion discussed that they hadn't seen their report until today, and, you know, this is data from the end of July. Can we look in, I mean, this is not the first meeting either that's been studied. Can we look into those instances and see what's going on, that these guys aren't getting the information before they walk in here?
Yes, we can.
When we talked about it last, we talked about two things. A, they can run the report themselves, but B, they can, didn't we try to start emailing those out to them prior to the meeting, or have we implemented that? What?
Okay, they came to me. I thought they went to them as well. They did not.
Okay.
We did, in the last chiefs meeting, sit down and provide instruction to the ones that were there on how to pull those reports. So maybe we just need to follow up maybe with the ones that weren't there and show them how to do it.
Yeah, as long as those guys are educated, if they don't get it, but.
Did Tate not take?
No, he said that's some of the training he got coming. He did take a few in there. There was a couple.
Okay, okay. If you haven't been shown, let me know and we'll make sure it happens.
And we're also going to email them.
Yeah, we have been given like Friday before this meeting, and JD had been sending them out to us.
Cool. Thank you.
I apologize. I thought they had went out when I got them.
Just goes back to communication, so we'll work on it. We've all got to work on it. All right, item 15, staff reports. Human Resources, you're up first if you got anything.
I don't have anything at this time. I'm just trying to get acclimated where I'm at, trying to figure out procedures, policies. But I don't really have a report prepared today.
Okay.
We're glad you're here.
Thank you.
Fleet maintenance, Mike.
All right, well, we resolved around 29 to 30 work orders and, of course, a number of numerous issues that weren't recorded. We're still working on catching up the PMs. We're getting a whole lot closer to getting those caught back up. Last week, we did get White House tanker back in service with the pump rebuild. And I did contact Chastain Ford where we had ordered that Flint attack chassis. And he said it was out for delivery from the plant in Tennessee, so hopefully within the next week or two we should have that chassis, and we're going to get started on that body swap here shortly. That's about it as far as major projects.
Just for my knowledge, or an update rather, what did we ever determine with the inspection and registration stickers?
I had contacted the state on that. They said the owners of the organization were the ones that had to fill out the application form. I did pass that information on to JD.
Okay. I just want to make sure we're still on that.
We're still on it. Johnny and I had a brief conversation one afternoon about it. We just need to get with him and figure out who's considered the owner, if it's y'all or.
Mike, as you're going through the process of identifying the different repairs and maintenance work that you need out there at the shop, just whenever you're getting quotes, make sure you get them broke down by project, by task type thing, so as we look at them, so I'm not anticipating we're going to be able to approve everything, so if we get one price, then we'd have to go back. So if you can get them broke down as much detail as you think you possibly can.
Oh, yeah, okay.
It'll help us. Yeah, thanks.
Training Chief report, Chief Clanton.
Okay, so we've had a fairly busy end of July and to this point in August. We've been traveling around doing the ICS tabletop, which is kind of the format the Forestry Service used to use, sand table, creating some wildland incidents that are specific to the area we're teaching in, and tying in Google Maps and some other things like that to kind of help with some decision making and to build up our folks as it relates to initial attack on wildland events, and some communications and radio discipline, various things that we're trying to reinforce with that particular project, and I think it's been pretty successful. Had a pretty good time with Chief Mauger and different ones that we've done that with, and I think it's a valuable tool that they have very nice digital versions of that now at the Forest Service. We're kind of doing it old school. So anyway, We do have in September the 24th, and we have some stuff out on Facebook related to that. There's a page created specifically for this event, and we'll be building this up within our departments, but we have an outside guest speaker coming, Todd Edwards. If any of you watch any of the, or listen to any of the podcasts out there, a pretty dynamic guy out of Georgia, you know, a lot of experience, aggressive, go-get-it fireman, and pretty opinionated, and I think he'll be a real enjoyment for us to listen to. The first portion of that in the morning will be a leadership, sort of building our own type conversation, and that'll go from the morning time through lunch. And then I think sometime around 4-ish or so, we have the breaking barriers conversation, which is specific to special challenges and things, calls that we might make with autistic children and various other problems that improves our ability to respond. So that'll be pretty interesting. And then after that piece of the event, we'll have a thing for the families where we'll actually mingle with those folks and have some good conversation about their concerns and what we as the district provide for them. We've spent a little bit of time on budget preparation for sure. We also taught the pump operations course to various departments, participated in the hiring process and preparation for hiring battalion chief and a training captain. And we brought Sherry up to speed a little bit on that today. Moving forward, she'll certainly be the primary piece to that. We are also, with our paid staff, doing Initial Attack, We Will Come For You. That is our lecture series, Small Company Tactics. And that's been a real enjoyment to go around, and we actually deliver a pretty good program on that, where afterwards they do a little drill, and we time them on getting lines on the ground, water on the fire kind of conversation. And it's a real joy to see these guys doing as well as they are. They're doing awesome things. Also, we helped to get the COVID testing underway, viral exposure mapping, and we're doing that in-house. To date, we've tested probably 16 members actually, and I think we're doing a real good job on curbing the spread and doing our quarantine situations and really monitoring that. Reduce the expenditure from over $300 per member to about $75 for us to do that internally. And with that, we also manage the situation much better than what perhaps a clinic is. So we've been pretty successful with that. 18 training events, 62 hours of direct delivery. We're still doing the transition to Target Solutions. And so we don't show a huge number of online hours right there as we did have before, but we're working our way back up and getting everybody on board with that. We had 60 career member interactions, 34 volunteer interactions for a total of 94. Any questions?
I do on the online delivery hours. Is that administered hours, or is that calculating the actual classes taken by an individual?
No, that's what we've administered.
So we've put it out there whether they've taken it or not.
No. Now that's we're looking at completions.
Completions, okay.
Yes, sir.
All right.
So there's some people, and I think Captain Adams sent out a reminder today that there were some folks meeting their time limit on the courses that were assigned. And so we go back and housekeep that to be sure they're staying. But you also have the entire library, which is over 2,000 classes, open for them to self-assign.
Gotcha.
So you have some of our company officers have done, I don't know how many hours that they're doing on their own accord.
That's awesome.
So.
And well, thank you for some of the initiatives you put out and getting some of these programs started and the success is being seen. Good job, appreciate it.
All right. Finance, Bill.
Well, Commissioners, as you can see, I've been spending a lot of time with budget. That's been consuming the majority of my time, but we're looking forward to moving forward with the software conversion project. I'm also looking forward to working with Sherry. We've been bouncing a lot of ideas off of one another, and as far as getting the payroll conversion started, and so just really looking forward to working with her.
Thank you. Okay, Larry, IT.
I'm not going to take up a lot of y'all's time tonight. I do want to introduce everybody to Ben. Ben is the new IT Tech 1 that'll be at the front desk. Ben, you want to stand up, just kind of wave, tell everybody hi. he's still in training. He will be for the next couple of weeks. Once I'm comfortable, that he's comfortable in the position, we'll go back to our Saturday hours, which will give us more open time for the volunteer side. Other than that, we've just been working on budget and getting these guys trained because Brent's also transitioning to a new role. So I have my hands full training people. Hopefully, we'll get out of that this month, but we'll see.
Okay. Larry, one thing I would ask you, when you run those reports for the end of the month, make sure that you send it to the chiefs and send a copy to JD and let them know that either they're behind on their deals or whatever, and make sure that they're getting that. And also when we send out I know the agenda and everything's put on the website now, but if you could just get a group of the chiefs and send that to the chiefs too, so they can do it.
I requested today that the everyone email address is added to that group in diligence, so everybody should start getting that email again.
Okay.
And then the chiefs all should still be getting the daily email that shows how many missing and incomplete reports they have.
Okay, appreciate it. Chief of Operations, Chief Smith.
Okay. Of course, our monthly call and response numbers are attached there in your books. As far as myself, I've been working hard in budget. Bill and I have really spent a lot of time working together, bouncing things off of each other. I'm glad to have him. Our new HR director began last week, as we know. Currently have been helping her get caught up on our benefits and our workers' comp and those types of things. I really believe she's going to be good for us. I'm really excited that she's here. We're currently working through the COVID surge, whether it be responses to patients or our own. We've had to move some firefighters around, as Chief Sammons was talking about, and I'm sure some of them may be, a little out of whack having to go to a different station for the day. I've been assisting with the long range and the other committees with their budgets and the other inputs into the budget, such as Captain Trotty and Captain Murillo. I've attended the chiefs meetings to continue working with the VFDs. We brought the in-house COVID testing in to reduce cost. I really want to applaud Chief Clanton and the training division for taking that on and really getting it up and going. Also for Flint for allowing us to use the old fire station to conduct that testing. I've attended meetings for 9/11 Memorial. There'll be some more information to come for that. I know we've got a couple of other events scheduled at that time. Also, I believe the weekend after that, there's the triathlon on Lake Tyler. That's the next day. Okay. Yeah, it'll be September 12th. There'll be the triathlon on Lake Tyler that we usually assist with. I'm going to continue working with the chiefs on their backgrounds and their reports. We'll make sure that that their background checks are getting done and that those reports are going out. Upcoming items that I have that I know about for the agendas are obviously the budget adoption and now the Bullard Bunker Gear Grant. At this time, I'm trying to think ahead and not really much there. So,
JD, did you send out the committee email?
I did not. I was working on that agenda.
No, you're good. You're good. We finally did assign everybody to the new committees that we talked about a couple months ago. Anyway, that email will be coming out pretty quickly, so we'll get those started and they'll fall right in with our others. So be watching for that email as well.
All right. Anything else, Chief Smith?
I'm good if you guys are.
All right, at this time, at 8:09 p.m., we're going to go into closed session. The board will convene in closed session in accordance with Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code 551.071, 551.072, and 551.074. No action shall be taken while the board is in closed session. Any final action and decision or final vote should be taken after the board reconvenes in open session. And we are adjourned at 8:09. All right.
Johnny, go.
All right, I call the regular session back to order at 8:26 PM. And item 18 is to discuss, consider, and take necessary action on the Smith County ESD org chart. There's no action to be taken at this time, so we'll move on to item 19, which is to discuss, consider, and take necessary action on a lease agreement with the City of Tyler for Dixie Station 1. And what we're going to do there is we're going to send the lease agreement back with some changes, and hopefully they'll approve it, but I think we're going to approve it as revised. Is that right?
So I'll make the motion that we approve the lease agreement as revised and to be returned to the city of Tyler for their adoption.
Have a motion by Commissioner Dominy to send the lease agreement back, approved by us with the revisions and wait on the City of Tyler to return it to us. Have a second by Commissioner Biggers. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Remarks by presiding officer and/or board members, information updates, items to be placed on future agendas and future meeting dates, times, or locations. About the only thing, do you guys like having the meetings here? It seems like a lot of the board members like to have them here, so if you want to, we'll try to have the next one here also. And I think 911 districts also gave Larry some room where he can put all his stuff up here, so it won't be hard to do, and I think the seats are a little more comfortable. Hear what's going on, yeah. And another thing too, I just want to remind you guys, you know COVID's going on. We've got guys, full-time guys that are sick with it. So you guys, I know you will, but you may have to step up a little bit more than what you've been doing. Corey's been doing a good job testing everybody. I thank him for taking that task on, because it's not a pleasurable task to go in there and do something to somebody that you know is probably positive with it, and you're putting yourself out there too. So this board appreciates everything all of you do. We don't want you to ever think you're not appreciated. You are. We're just like anything else, communication. Sometimes we don't tell you that, but I can pretty well tell you both sides of the fence have 100% backing of this board. So that's all I've got to say. Anybody else have anything? Motion. Okay. Have a motion by Mr. Biggers. We adjourn. Second by Commissioner McKeithen. We are adjourned at 9:29 p.m.